Welcome back, boys. Hope you all enjoyed the long off season. It is now come to an end. We are fully back, getting ready to get in the full swing of fantasy things. And over here at Success 7-4s, we are just basking in all the championship vibes right now. As you can see, we managed to get the trophy successfully out of Chicago and brought it home where it belongs in its birthplace. And we got it sitting properly next to our 2024 Gaylord Golf Trip Trophy and our 2022 Scrambled Eggs Open Championship Trophy. We're also rocking the 2022 Troy Softball League Champions Trophy. So just all the championship vibes over here at Texas Side 10-4s as we prepare to repeat this season. Also, while trying to repeat as a GM side of things, we're also trying to set our ninth straight championship as the greatest commissioner in the world for fantasy football. So hopefully this episode will be step one in delivering you guys a great product yet again this season. As you can see, Nick is not here this week. We were unable to make the schedules work, so we're just kind of winging it. So we'll see how this one goes. Usually results in shorter episodes when I'm by myself, but we will see. You guys will know that quicker than me because I'm still recording this right now and you have a timestamp beneath you. Without further ado, we're going to get into the first game. First team to get the Kiffin Award this season was Francy Feast with a score of 149, taking down PC Principal with 115. Francy Feast had a really strong offseason. I thought they were definitely aggressive, going out and getting ETN and Devontae Adams. And this team showed up very well in week one. Tua had himself a nice solid day. Really just a lot of solid days across the board. Mike Evans also getting over 20. Joe Mixon with a big day, getting nearly 30 points. Win over the Colts. Special teams added in nicely. Only Kittle was the only single-digit performer of the week. When you add all that up, usually results in some good scores. They were able to get the win against PC Principal, another team who was really aggressive this offseason. They went out and got CJ Stroud after he bounced around a little bit. Good for 24 points this week. They franchise tagged Tyreek again. He got none 26. It looked like an aggressive decision with a high price tag at the beginning of free agency, but by the end, with the Jefferson signing, proved out to not be that expensive at all. But really just one too many single-digit scores as you scroll through the bottom here. Wasn't able to get enough, especially going up against the Kiffin Award winner. They would have needed a really big week. Obviously didn't have it for them, so they fall to 0-1. We'll see how things play out for this team moving forward. Second game of the week, we had Sticky Mistakes in an even-numbered year getting the Lemp Award to start the season with a 109 score. They also were just victim to a lot of single digits. They got, what was that, 10 here out of Pitts. Honestly, not bad for Pitts historically. Falcons defense did nice for them, but just a few too many single digits and nothing over 20. Also had some players get hurt. Mostert got hurt over the course of the game. I think a couple of people were banged up, had him his time, and then came back. So really just not a lot of things going well for this team in week one, but they should, fix themselves with just the chances of luck going forward. Over here at Texas 10-4s, we were happy to get this win. Not a lot of problems because of Adams' lineup injury problems. So not a lot of trouble for us, but still happy to take home the win. A lot of solid performances. Aaron Jones making his 10-4s debut. Got 20. We were happy to see that. K9 almost 20 of his own. We also caught the injury bug a little bit this week, though. Puka Nacua on IR now with a knee. He will be out the next 4 weeks. Christian McCaffrey was also last-second scratch from the Monday Night Football game after he was expected to play all week. We over here didn't find that out until about 15 minutes before kickoff, which led us scrambling, and we ended up going with the infamous 2 tight end setup, which didn't do too great for us this week, but we still got the win, so we'll take it. And our specialist had a pretty good week. Bucker with 9. Seahawks defense with 30 points. Didn't even score a defensive touchdown. 7 3-and-outs and 8 forced punts. It's just a really strong performance. Like, it's always going to be good for fantasy points. So we're definitely happy to see that over here. Moving on to our third game of the week, we have the Swiper Award going to the Philly Cheekles with a 123-110 victory over the Cleveland Steamers. It was a solid performance out of Philly, not the ugliest swiper award we've ever seen. Kicker and special defense and special teams were really the bright point for this team. 17 out of Kaimi Fairbairn with 3 field goals all over 50 yards. Good, just a monster day to have for a kicker there. And then Chargers defense, 27 of their own. They also did not score a touchdown. You can read their stat line there, just really racking up numbers all across the board. Always going to be really helpful for your team when your defense is able to do that. It makes it a lot easier to win. And then the rest of the team had a lot of solid performances. No like world beaters out of this team, but it was good enough to get the job done. They moved to 1-0. We'll see if they're able to do any damage from the victory they got here this week. And then on the flip side here, Cleveland Steamers, a little bit of disappointment. No one was able to get over 20. You see a lot of scores in the teens. And no one had like a terrible week, but really just no big boom performances. When you add it all up, their final score was a little disappointing, sitting at only 110. This team still has a lot of talent on it. We expect them to bounce back. Also, Nick really wanted me to shout out J.K. Dobbins coming back after his injury last season, and the last few seasons he's dealt with injury problems. Cleveland Steamers front office was very happy to see him back in uniform, so we wanted to relay that message on Nick's behalf. Moving on to our 4th game of the week, we have the now known as the Chargers Award for the most points scored by a losing team. Goes to Pams with a 126-133 loss against FaZe Kev. For FaZe Kev here, top of the lineup just came through really strong. 35 points pretty much out of both Saquon and Josh Allen. Saquon's a new signing for FaZe Kev this season. They paid a lot of coins to get him, but turns out to be proven it's proving to be working out well for them early on this year. So you got a monster performance in week 1. Some good support staff, a little bit of some single digits as we get to the second half of the lineup here, but it would still be good enough for them to barely squeak out the win. They also had a really good specialist day. Steelers defense also without a touchdown, getting 23. Sanders with nearly 10. On the flip side here for Pams, they really had a chance to win this game late. Some big performances out of them as well. Lamar with 31 and only 1 touchdown because he ran all over the field for 122 yards. Maybe hurt Derrick Henry's production because of that a little bit, but combine those 2 scores, they'll take that every week. So the Ravens helped this team out for sure. And then Cooper Kupp showing flashes of his younger self at a ripe age of 31, still going out there getting 29 points against the Lions. And then Aubrey with 22 points as a kicker. Just an insane day. 4 for 4 field goals, including 2 of 50-plus. Monster day out of him. I had all that up, would set this team up. They were projected to win heading into Monday Night Football. They just need about 12 out of Brandon Ayuk. As you can see, that would not happen. He did not have himself a great game. Only 2 catches, good for less than 5 points. Would not be able to get the job done, and Pams finds themselves now sitting at 0-1 to start the year. And then our final game of the week. No awards in this one, just a good 1-0 start for Glizz Mafia. 147-124 takedown of Wallace Pluto. Glizz Mafia, just some solid performances. A-Chain stepped in with most getting hurt, finding himself with 21. A.J. Brown with 24. Dalton Kincaid, I think, Dalton Kincaid was the only player on this team to end in the single digits. So really just a lot of good depth for this team in week 1. Add all that up, gives themselves an impressive score of 147. And that would be enough for them to get the victory. Wallace Pluto was 124. This team was definitely the most aggressive in the offseason. They were running up the tab on everyone in the free agency auction. Justin Jefferson was the big signing for them. He was still to get 15 this week. Not a terrible week by any stretch, but with as much money as they're paying him, you definitely want to see him get 20 almost every single week. And then, really, I think this was another case. Yeah, this was just another case. Kamara got 21.5, but no one else able to get over 20. add all of that up. A little bit of a disappointing score, 124. You probably could still win with that, especially this week. It was a little bit lower scoring. But they would find themselves in the loss column nonetheless, falling to 0-1. And that will do it for our games here in week 1. We will take a look forward ahead now to the week 2 schedule so you guys know what kind of action you had to look forward to this upcoming week. First off, yours truly, Texas A&M Forest, sitting at 1-0, taking on currently the only other remaining undefeated team in the Michigan division in Glizz Mafia. So the winner of this one should get off to a early divisional lead. See if whoever wins this one is able to hold on to that as the season progresses. And then quite the opposite here in game 2. Cleveland Steamers taking on PC Principal, both 0-1 in the American division. The only 2 0-1 teams. We'll see which team is able to get off snide early and which team will fall at 0-2, creating themselves quite the path back, even though it's only week 2. Third matchup, FaZe Kev taking on Philly Cheekles. One of these teams should set themselves up nicely in the American division. Both 1-0, both American division teams. We'll see who's able to get the win there after both teams had an impressive week 1. Wallace Pluto taking on Pams. Both teams 0-1 in the Michigan division. This is about a 20-foot rivalry, as these two live about 20 feet from each other. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of smack talk between the two of them this week because they're past each other in the house making breakfast and whatnot. So we'll see which team's able to right the course and get things going again. History would indicate that Wallace Pluto will get back to 1-1 as they continue their path to being forever 500. But we'll see if Pams has anything to say about that. And then final game, Francy Feast, looking to improve on their impressive Kiffin Award performance in week 1. See if they're able to get 2-0 against the Sticky Mistakes team that will hopefully be healthier this week and therefore should be able to put up a more impressive total team score. And that is all that I have for you guys this week. Thank you all for tuning in. Hope you all come back next week for our week 2 recap. Hope you all enjoyed your off season and are feeling refreshed and now ready to go as we embark on another marathon that is the fantasy football season. Should be another fun year. We'll see who's able to win the race for this bad boy right here. I got my money saying that it will stay here for another season. We'll see who wants to come here and take it from me. And that is pretty much all I have for you guys this week. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. I'll see you back here same time next week for all the week 2 news and updates and score recaps, of course. Thanks for tuning in, boys. Peace out.